Hello, good evening. It's Friday. It is 7:30, which means the weekend is about to start. But before it does, we are going to bring you the Arsenal Women's Show. This is over and over and over again. We have got a lot of things to talk about this week. Obviously, there's been 2 games. There's been some new injury problems as well, as we saw last night. And we've still got one more game left to play this year, coming up this midweek. The final game in the Champions League group stage against Zurich. So we're going to look ahead to that as well. Lots and lots to get through, all coming up the other side of this. Running there of Beth Mead. Beth Mead's in behind, plays it across. Caitlin Ford's going to score, and she has scored. This fast start has been rewarded for us. So it is the Arsenal Women's Weekly, episode 11 we're on actually, which has been good. It seems to have been changed a bit this season. We haven't managed to keep our regular slot, but we are back this week on our regular Friday evening slot, and we will be back next week as well again. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. We have got our normal panellists in tonight. Andreas, good to see you again. You had a good week?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yes, I had a good week and looking forward to the show and lots of things we have to discuss.
Yes, not all good, unfortunately, but anyway, we'll come on to that very shortly. And Amar as well, I know you've been struggling a little bit, but you've made it in, which is great. Great to see you.
Yeah, no, a lot to discuss, and it's been a while. It was a good week until yesterday, but still, yeah, looking forward to the best part of the week as always. So, yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this indeed. I mean, you know, it has been quite a difficult 24 hours or so with what happened last night on the pitch as well. But we have had some good news today, and I think we need to enjoy the little bit of good news that we had today, which was, of course, this happened earlier on today. Of course, great news that is. You know, Beth Mead signing a new contract extension, staying at the club. Brilliant news, and you know, we all just want her to just get fit and healthy very quickly, so we can see her back in action again as soon as possible. But that really helped to cheer us all up, I think, today after the terrible news that we witnessed, the terrible things that we witnessed yesterday at the Emirates, which we'll come on to. I mean, I know we did play Aston Villa first, obviously, at the weekend, but I think we can't really start anywhere else other than what happened last night, really, because there's so much went on in that game that we need to talk about. I mean, the game almost seems insignificant in actual fact to me. Yes, we're through. We qualified for the quarterfinal of the Champions League, which is great. It's what we set out to do. But the whole game for me was overshadowed completely by that incident just at half time with what could be a really serious injury. We don't know yet what the extent of it is. There's no news come out so far. Obviously, she'll be having tests and stuff like that. But certainly looking at it, it looked horrible when you saw it, and the replay in particular, it just looked horrible. You can't do anything but feel really sorry for Viv. Just come back from a break, just playing really well, scoring goals, and suddenly this happens just at the wrong time, really, which is so unfortunate. I mean, Andreas, it kind of made the game almost irrelevant after that to me last night.
Yeah, I think we are all still under shock, and the match yesterday, as you said, it was over at halftime for us. I couldn't concentrate on the match because all the time I was thinking, what happened? What might have happened? How serious is the injury? And if we are under shock after this, then you can imagine how the girls must have felt to have to play 45 minutes with 1-0 behind, and in their minds the chance to qualify for the next stage. So this was a difficult situation, and when the match was over, I read that we are qualified now for the quarterfinals, but there was no feeling of being happy or yes, we are through in Champions League. No, it was just a sad evening, and I felt that then we are through. But I'm still today. I'm under shock, and I think this will last until we know exactly what injury she suffered. But everything looked so serious, and nobody had any doubts that it's a serious injury. You see how fast they were there with the stretcher, and how fast she was stretched out. There was no doubt whether uh, she can get up on her feet alone or so. Beth was on the sideline on scratches, and she looked very concerned, and Ruth was in tears, and I don't know whether it was the pain or just for her the feeling, the knowledge that her season is probably over, that her World Cup is over, and it made everybody sad. And okay, the good thing is we are through to the quarterfinals in March. We have regrouped until then, and but today it's not a day to be happy. It's still a shock situation for everybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it was. I say you're right. For me, the game finished at that moment. Really, for me, the game was over. And yes, we had a second half to play. We still had a job to do, and fair play. And I think that the way that we played in that second half, I thought was a massive credit to everybody, because it must have been really difficult for them. There's no doubt about that. It would have been, to have witnessed that on the pitch, to see that happen, and then to have to come back out and still play the rest of the game. I mean, it was quite. I thought it was quite significant that Danielle van der Donk didn't play the second half, and she was the first one there with Viv, wasn't she, on the pitch? And I think she didn't play the second half because of that reason. I'm 100% convinced of it, because there didn't seem any other logical reason to take her off, because she's been playing quite well. And I thought that was to do with that. Maybe she maybe wasn't in the right frame of mind to come out and play the second half. But obviously, as players had to, because we couldn't take them all off. We had to play the game. And I say fair play to them. I thought they dug in that second half and played well. A little bit unfortunate not to get something out of the game, maybe, but it does seem a little bit of an irrelevance, really, the score, the result, and all that kind of stuff. It's just, coming so quickly on the back of Beth's very similar looking injury as well. It's just, it seems to be happening one after the other at the moment, not just with Arsenal players. It's just, obviously, we've got two significant players now that have both suffered very similar injuries very close together, but it's happened everywhere. I mean, Amar, we spoke about it on the show lots of times this season about the number of games they're being made to play and the impact on their physical and mental health. I mean, Viv's even spoken about it herself, hasn't she? She had to take that break due to the stresses and the strains of the number of games that they're playing. And suddenly now we're seeing these injuries happening time after time now. It's becoming far too regular. Is it time, I know it's not going to happen, but is it time that they really have to, the WSL, the FA, everybody has to maybe come around together and say, you know what, we need to look at what we can do to protect or offer as much protection as we can to the players, because it's getting a little bit ridiculous now, isn't it? The amount of times this is happening.
Yeah, it is getting ridiculous, and it is about time they did address the schedule. Even Jonas himself said early in the week prior to the Aston Villa game, and Carl Ward, the Aston Villa manager, agreed with him as well. It is absolutely ridiculous. The schedule has to change, and they can't keep on playing all these games back to back. They expect to perform 100% week in, week out. And then the stress on them, as it is to perform. The expectation to perform is already high, and they feel it feels as if they always have to perform that high standard when they don't understand how important mental health and, as you said, well-being is to the sport. And it is about time. Well, whether they do it or not. I mean, even a 3.5 week break, if you think about it, is ridiculous as well. And maybe they should sort of look at our schedule, and if we factor in we're playing for 4 trophies this season as well, Champions League, WSL. And all these international breaks as well. Honestly, whatever it is, the bodies need to come together, need to come to an agreement, and just say that the schedule is weighing too heavily. And if you look at the men's game as well, I mean, I know it's a comparison to the World Cup in the middle of a season, and then you're straight back into next week, the Carabao Cup. I mean, what's the sense in that, for example?
It's an
absolute joke. I mean, it's a high time something was done. Otherwise, we're going to see. Everyone's we'll go to games. We're not going to see the best players perform week in, week out, and and after the summer, especially that'll be degrading almost for the women's game.
Yeah, and it's almost like what I get the feeling is, because of the success of the Euros in the summer in particular, and because of the way women's football's grown over the last couple of years, all they see is money in front of their eyes. They don't see anything else, and they're thinking, let's just get more and more games played. Let's get more and more games played. And already now we're not even halfway through the season technically.
No.
We've we played more home games at the Emirates than we have at Meadow Park, and our next home game is at the Emirates as well against Chelsea in January. And it's I can't understand for the life of me what the point was of playing the 3 group games in the Champions League at the Emirates, other than they're thinking of money. They should have played all them 3 games at Meadow Park and saved the Emirates for a knockout stage or the important later on in the season. That's what they should have done. They were almost wasted on those 3 games because the crowds were low. And I know that the train strikes didn't help last night. The weather hasn't helped. But, ultimately, those 3 games, for me, should have been played at Meadow Park. And they should have saved up, like they did last season, saved up the Emirates games for later in the season. The next knockout stage should be at the Emirates, maybe the first knockout game that we play there. Have some more of these important WSL games later in the season when things are going to be decided. Man City at home, maybe, and stuff like that. Look at them sort of games. But anyway, it seems like they only care about one thing, and that's money.
It's not playing as well,
And it takes it's going to take a really high profile player such as Viv, who's been very vocal, hasn't she, in the fixture congestion, all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's going to take this unfortunate injury to her to make people sit up and listen and say, you know what, we cannot maintain this like this because it's not, who wants to watch, who's going to want to watch the WSL if all the best players aren't playing because they're all injured? It's pointless. It's absolutely ridiculous. They've got to look at it. And hopefully, if one good thing can come out of all of this, if it's that, then I think ultimately that will be a good thing to have come from it all. But I can't see it changing because once they see money in front of their face, they don't change. They don't go backwards, do they, ever? And and unfortunately, but the players maybe need to say, right, we are not going to put up with this anymore. We cannot put ourselves at risk of serious injury. And hopefully something might change, but I'm not confident it will, unfortunately. But we'll see. Actually, talking about, I think we wanted some good news because, I know we've had Beth sign her contract, but it's been quite a depressing 24 hours or so. But we've actually got some good news because look at this.
Surprise!
Fantastic.
And we'll move him into his normal space as well.
Surprise!
It is a surprise to see. It's a surprise to me, obviously. I know some of you watching may not know, but Matt's sort of changed his job and he's going to not be able to come on the show very regularly these days anymore, unfortunately. And we are going to miss him. He's going to send videos for us, but it's nice tonight, that he's managed to be able to get on in his Christmas jumper, which is great. Which is fantastic. So it's good to see you, Matt. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. It's just been really tough at the moment, just digesting everything that would been going on with the club. Hopefully we should get some news. I don't know if you've covered. I take it you're covering Viv at the moment. The way I think it was just the way she went down. That's the worry. And again, I keep on talking about having that medical help, and it took forever for the ambulance actually to come onto the pitch. As well as the medics. So this is going to be the worry now, is that they need to start enforcing things. Maybe have medics have their own areas, maybe one medic per area around the stadium, almost like they do it in a square. So at least then someone can cover it, and then if it comes to where they need X amount of medics, they go over into that area. But what surprised me the most was the fact that when she went off, I think everyone almost had the same feeling, like we can't continue this game anymore. And essentially that's how Lyon got their goal, because we weren't focused. We were too worried about what would happen with Viv, and it was a bit of a strange. It was almost like we're through, but what was the cost at the end of it?
It was a strange atmosphere because we had qualified. We lost the game, which made it strange anyway. And of course, I think everybody was only really concerned about what happened to Viv as opposed to anything else. The rest of it doesn't really seem that important. And, I know, Beth suffered a very bad injury as well very recently, but I suppose the difference there was that happened right at the very end of the game, didn't it? The last few seconds of the game. And the game was over. Yeah. And she, as Andrea said, she kind of walks off the pitch with help, didn't she? Obviously, we know how serious that injury is now, but the impact on everybody else, all the players and the crowd, wasn't as much. That last night, because it happened in the middle of the pitch, in the middle of the game, and you could clearly see how serious it was. The fact it needed a stretcher on there, and I think made a massive more of an impact than Beth's injury did at the time.
Yeah.
When it happened, it didn't seem quite as bad at the time, did it, for Beth, because of the circumstances of it. But I mean, that was, yeah. I mean, I would, if they turned around and said they were not going to play the second half, I wouldn't have been bothered at all. I'd have thought, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Play the game. I know you can't do that.
But
it was absolutely terrible, really. And Herman says they don't give ladies enough rest. No, this is the problem. This is the biggest issue why they're constantly getting these injuries. One after the other, they're going down at the moment. Terry's in the chat, and Terry says we must be the unluckiest team when it comes to injuries. Well, we seem to be. We get Leah and Haffer back.
I'm calm. I'm calm.
Just calm down, Emma. Lose Mido and Kim. Great news, Kim's back. Yeah, that was good news. And then obviously it's horrendous injury to Viv. And then Mead signs a new contract. Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down few weeks, hasn't it? Actually, it has been quite an up and down few weeks for us. But yeah, last night wasn't great. Herman says that the pitch was slippery due to the weather, and that make easy to slip. Yeah, I mean possibly. I mean whether the right boots and stuff like that, who knows? Maybe that's an impact as well. I don't know really. Terry says money ruins all sport. Well, absolutely right. And we're paying the price for it now, big time as well. Most top sides this season have lost their top players. Yeah, they have. I mean, I always felt after the summer, because of that high of the Euros. I mean, not just for England because we won it, but I think everybody involved. It was such a big tournament. It was such a big statement for women's football.
Yeah.
And I kind of was worried that certainly the Lionesses players, I had a worry that some of them might pick up injuries this season on the back of, the fact that we have a break straight from last season into the Euro, straight into this season. Mm-hmm. And it was a worry anyway. And now we're seeing these injuries happen, which is it's terrible. And yeah, it has to be looked at because, and I think we feel more strongly at this moment because it's our players, our two of our players. We're going to lose them for the season now, potentially. It looks that way. So, I mean, it is, but in the overall scheme of women's football, it has to be looked at. They have to do something. Surely they have to. I mean, Andreas, I know, we're almost skipping over the match itself, and I think maybe rightly so because we've all kind of agreed it didn't really matter too much. But can you see anything changing because it's such a high-profile player? I mean, obviously, Alexis Patel's got a similar injury last year, and really. Is Viv Miedemar now getting the same injury? Are they going to start looking at it thinking, you know what, we're losing the best players here? Do you think anything will change?
I don't think that anything will change. This is a few days that it's written or talked about it, but for FIFA or UEFA, the money rules, and I read that they will create a new competition in women's football, a team World Cup with 24 teams played maybe in winter. Or I can't understand it. They created the Nations League for the women's now the club World Cup. More matches instead of less. When should they be played? And it's all for the money, or for TV coverage, and not for the health of the players. What do they think about the World Cup when next summer when the best players are out injured? Viv won't play, Beth can't play. Then Alexia probably won't play. Pernille Harder, you don't know whether she will be fit again. So. And that's just the beginning. We have still 6 months to play with the league, the cup competitions, the Champions League, the national teams preparing for the World Cup. So we will lose about 10 of the best players from the World Cup. That makes no sense. And money is not everything. That's what they must get in their mind. Money is not everything. Money is destroying everything.
Yes, it is.
In sports. And that's the situation we are facing now. And of course, Arsenal is horrible with injuries this season. But I don't think this will change. As I said, it's a few days, maybe a few weeks. They might discuss this, and then when she had her surgery, she will have the chance to give an interview, and then but in 2 or 3 months, nobody at FIFA will ask what about Beth Mead or with Miedemar. they will ask, how about the next TV coverage? How can we earn more money and press more money out of women's football? So no, today I think we are all, as I said, under shock and the negative feelings about this situation all around.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as you know, it's very, very sad situation to be in. Actually, that that money has become more important than the actual health of the players that are generating that money. Because without the players playing on the pitch, there's no product for them to sell, and they don't seem to understand that, do they? They just look at. I mean, it is ridiculous that they're thinking of bringing in more tournaments when there's far too many games already, and they've got to understand that less can be more. It makes you look forward to it more, doesn't it? When you can't watch football every single night of the week, when there's a few weeks off, it actually makes you look forward to it again, and it makes it better. And also, as well, it's going to protect the players a little bit more. And it's just crazy the situation that we've got with the women's game, and it's just happened so quickly. And we've got the wrong people running sport, haven't we? Let's be honest. The wrong type of people are running sport. All sports, I believe. But certainly the top sports are run by the wrong people that have got they've got the wrong interest there, haven't they? They're not thinking of the right reasons. They're doing everything for the wrong reasons, and we're starting to see it. And I mean, yes, there's injuries in men's football as well, and there's serious injuries in men's football as well, and we've seen it plenty of times, but not to this level and not for the same reason. I think everybody's got to understand, the people that run football have got to understand that men and women's bodies are not the same. And women's bodies cannot take the same amount that men's bodies can. They're not built the same. And we have to accept that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly normal and it's fine as long as we understand that and we put things in place to give women players more protection. There's not many sports, is there, that women play sort of contact physical sports like football. That women play to the same level in terms of number of matches and all that kind of stuff that women's footballers are now being asked to play. I don't think there's another sport like that with that amount of, women's rugby doesn't have that amount of games in a year, does it? And, stuff like that. And it's not, and no other sport is treating them like this. It's wrong. And it has to change. But I agree totally with you, Andreas. I don't think it's going to. I really don't. I'll be amazed if they bring in any changes to protect the players. I'll be amazed if they do. The only thing that they end up doing is they'll probably allow more substitutes, or they'll allow more players in a squad, or they'll allow stuff like that. Not protecting the players from playing less games. They'll just make more players be able to play, so you can rest players more. That's all they'll do, something like that probably, rather than actually looking at.
And to add to your point as well, don't forget, like with all the European competitions and domestic cup competitions we have now, there's going to be, instead of after the World Cup, there's going to be the Nations League as well.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Crazy, absolutely. It's just crazy. It's mental.
It's mental.
It's funny, isn't it? At the moment, we've obviously, I don't know what it's like in Germany at the moment, Andrew, but in England, there's a lot of strikes going on. Everybody's striking. We've got the railways striking, the nurses are striking. Everybody, the bin men are striking. Everybody's striking, right? Maybe it's going to take the women footballers striking and saying we are not prepared to put ourselves through this anymore to make a point. Maybe that's what they'll need to do. I don't know. It seems to be the big thing at the moment. It's certainly in the UK. This strike. This just strike. So maybe they should go on strike and say we're not going to play again until we get something put in place to protect our own health and our own well-being. That's what they need. Maybe that's what they'll need to do. And Viv would be the type of player to instigate something like that because she's very, very passionate about it, isn't she? Rightly so.
Yeah.
So, and even more so now probably because it's actually affected her and Beth at the same time. So, let's hope they can do something because something needs to change. It's got to change. And yeah, I mean, it's just upsetting really when you're seeing these things happening on such a regular basis, especially to the best players in the world. It's even worse, isn't it, when you see it happening to the, not that it should happen to anybody. I mean, I know, I think we're all feeling quite raw about it from yesterday and stuff like that, but there were some positives in the game last night, I thought. And the biggest one for me was that once again is Laura Wainwrighter. What a fantastic player she is. I just have to say, another absolutely world-class performance from her. Yeah. She's just incredible. What a season she's having. I mean, Amar, you must have enjoyed her performance last night. I know it was difficult to enjoy too much about the game, but for me, she stood out again by just such a beacon of light. No matter what goes wrong, you can rely on Laura to put in an amazing performance game after game after game. She's just brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah, when she's so composed on the ball, when she makes those runs into the opposition off the pitch, she has it intent, what she wants to do. She wants to run with the ball. Like she's been around for more than 23 years, her tender age. And I think when we signed her from Hoffenheim. I thought, yeah, this is a really, really good signing. And I don't know whether it was a Manu effect, but yeah, she's definitely one of the best right backs in the league and possibly in Europe. Yeah, so. Yeah, again, she really impressed last night, but I also wanted to give a special mention as well to Steph Catley, who I thought managed that right-hand side, because she went Delphine Cascarino, who's like one of the best wingers in the world. She really managed her well and saw that threat off as well. So it would be between her and Laura for player of the match, but I thought they were both excellent, and they continue to improve their value and worth to this side.
Yeah, no, you are. Actually, Steph had a great game as well. Yeah, I mean, it's good to mention her because she was brilliant as well. But I just think because she's quite a new player, she's only been here not even a year yet. And she didn't play much last season when she first came in because, obviously Noel Moritz had that place nailed down and Laura was in and out a few games. But the way that she's adapted this season and just stepped up, and every single game she's getting better and better and better. And I thought last night she was just that. I thought that was every week I seem to say that was her best game for us, and then the next game she plays better. That was her best game now. But last night I thought she was that was an incredible performance against the reigning Champions League holders. That technically one of the best teams ever in women's football, and she absolutely bossed that game. Absolutely brilliant, and it was great to see. She's still only young as well. Is she 23? Is she?
Still, yeah. 2 days apart from Laura, remember? Yeah, Lotte last week. Yeah,
that's right. So what a fantastic player she is, and she's going to become even better, isn't she? So that was like I know we're all a bit down in the dump, but that was a massive positive again for me. Is just how brilliant that she is at this moment in time, and how brilliant she's playing. So we need players to step up because of the injuries that we've had, and she really has done that, and she's been absolutely brilliant. And I just want to. But you're right about Steph as well. We need to don't leave Steph out of it because she was great as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt, what did you make of the performance last night? Because I actually didn't think, in the circumstances, we didn't play too badly. We just lacked a little bit of cutting edge, didn't we? That was it, really.
Yeah, and once again, the goal came from just across that. Again, for some reason, all our defence have pushed over, and even though everyone's piled in to try and defend it, it's just come off of Frida and it's gone in. But it felt a bit odd that after everything that happened that first half, we weren't really threatening as much. We tried to, but even those long shots that we were trying to do, they just seemed too soft, and it was almost like Lyon had learned a lot about how Arsenal play at the Emirates and how other teams defend against them. And so usually I'll take Tottenham for example because they do it all the time and it's funny. They literally just they give you all that time and space and you go right. I'll take a Caitlin or a Beth Mead and go right. Okay, if you're going to give me all that space, you'll give me a 35-yard shot, a free shot, and it goes in. Lyon didn't do that. They actually managed to compact the space quite well. And I think the fact that our threats were coming from crosses once again, but no one was either getting in the air of it because Wendy Renard was there, or just someone else got a deflection. It was probably a good European night, but under the circumstances, it probably won't be remembered for the right kind of reasons. But honestly, I think at the start of the group, if you were to say in this game you're going to lose 1-0 to the current Champions League winners and you're going to go through, I think everyone would have bit your hand off for it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Of course, yeah. And I mean, you've got to think as well, before the group started, if someone had said, you'll take 3 points off Lyon, 4 points off Juventus, we'd have said, okay, yeah, thank you very much. We'll take that. And we'll be more than happy. So we have to be delighted with the 5 games that we played in the Champions League. Yes, last night, as you said, it's not going to be remembered much for the game ultimately, but the 5 games overall so far have been good. We've played well most of the games. We've got the results probably better than we expected to get. Maybe slightly more points than we would have expected to have at this point. And certainly to have qualified already with a game to spare is beyond what our expectations were at the start. I think looking at the group, the tough looking group, it's been a tough group. So we've got to be really pleased with that. I mean, I don't want to move away from the Lyon game, but just before that, Andreas, what did you make of the substitution at half time, obviously putting Leah Williamson into midfield, who actually did okay there, didn't she? It seemed like a little bit more of a negative move, though, didn't it, as opposed to bringing on another attacking player for Viv. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I was surprised about the substitutions, and in the end, you can say we qualified, and that's what we wanted. So Jonas didn't want to take any risk, but on the other hand, we were playing at home. It was halftime. We were only 1-0 down. So why bring a defender when number 10, an offensive midfielder, is taken out? So we have creative midfielders. We have Jordan and Mana. That's one point. I think nobody understands what Mana has done. That she never.
Absolutely.
At least yesterday, that would have been a chance for creative midfield, not only for 5 minutes or for stoppage time, but for 45 minutes to create and bring her strength in. And if you want to bring Lina Hurtig in, then not only for the last 6 or 7 minutes, she had a chance, and it seemed as in the last 5 minutes we more threat for the Lyon goal than 40 minutes before, just because we had one more striker in. So I was not really pleased with the subs Jonas made. He can say, and he will say, we sealed the deal, and that's all what counts. If we brought in Jordan and Mana or Lina, and then we get a second or a third goal from Lyon, then something even worse could have happened. Yes, okay, but for me it seemed as we were trying to secure the 1-0 defeat, and that's not the Arsenal we want to see.
No, it isn't overall, and I don't think overall it is it? I just think last night, various different circumstances, maybe, I suppose at half time, Jonas probably thought, let's just get this job done as best as we can, and maybe that was why he decided to make that substitute. I mean, it's good that Rafa got the whole of the second half. Leah got a full 90 minutes, so that's good. They've got their minutes under their belt, I suppose, and that's one positive. And obviously, Lena coming on, yes, I'd have brought her on 15 minutes to go, give her a better chance to read, because I thought she had quite an impact when she came on. She nearly scored right at the end, didn't she? Lena Hurtig, that shot that was good off the line. So, she made a bit of an impact. Yeah, I'd have maybe done that earlier, but ultimately it was about getting what we needed to get done in the second half in very difficult circumstances. And you have to say that, we got the job done, so maybe Jonas deserves credit for that as well, even if it wasn't the way, as I agree, that the way we anyway. I suppose better safe than sorry, really, isn't it? But anyway, where are we? Terry says heating engineers are reliable, they never strike. Well, no, that's fair enough. Maybe you need to go on strike, Terry, because you seem to be working when the shows are on. So you need to certainly go on strike for those sort of hours in the day, don't you? Really? Herman says there, Van der Donk and Walty were right by Viv's side. That's right, and Van der Donk didn't play in the second half. Yeah, I said that before. I think that was the reason why she went off, because I don't think she was in the right frame of mind to play after that.
It might have been the challenge as well, because the challenge before she was sort of rubbing her toes, so people were suspecting that maybe it was a challenge. But I think mentally, if you're one of your best friends, footballing wise, is injured, you're not going to want to play.
No, exactly. That's what I think. When she didn't come out for the second half, because they interviewed her on the telly, didn't they, at half time as well, and asked her about it. You could see that she didn't want to talk about it, and I wasn't surprised when she didn't come out in the second half. Terry says there, Laura, different class indeed, but I thought as a team we played well. In the last third, we were rubbish. Well, we just didn't
that's right.
last 5 minutes, as we just said there. Herman says that there's a lot of talented players. You're right, absolutely. There is a lot, Herman says there, where is Irabocci? Well, she got 2 minutes last time, it wasn't Terry says there, Lyon seemed to get a foot in. They did, Their defence and keeper played well. Had a bit of luck. That pretty much summed up the game, didn't it? They defended well. They got a lucky goal. We wasn't able to create too much. Herman says there, but has Lena just... yes, she has. Just recuperated from injury. She has, that was her first game back last night. So, she wasn't going to play much more than 10 or 15 minutes. But 5 minutes, a bit more should have maybe when we 1-0 down. And so should have brought on Super Jen up front, and we would have won. Yeah, potentially, maybe she would have got us a goal or two, perhaps. Terry says there, Matt, stand up. I can't see what it says on your top.
Okay, it's not Christmas until the
Holidays.
Oh,
Nice.
look at that. It's a Coca-Cola van. What more do you want in life?
Nice.
Fantastic. What a fantastic jumper that is. And Herman says there, there's Arsenal ladies are my favourite.
Yeah, everywhere our favourite team.
Well, of course, they're all our favourites. Of course, they're all of them. So, yeah, I mean, I say that was really the game last night, which, it wasn't really what we wanted. But prior to that, there was a record-breaking game for Arsenal last weekend at Aston Villa, which Matt actually went to. So yeah, the final goal in that game, our fourth goal, was our 500th goal in the WSL. Fantastic. It was our 200th game as well. And was it 140th victory? I know Matt got the stats a bit wrong.
Yeah,
140.
So, win.
I mean, that's impressive, isn't it? 140 wins from 200 games and 500 goals. It's incredible, really.
Yeah.
Now, why haven't we won another 10 league titles with that sort of record?
No, everyone can be. No, everyone's big.
It wasn't with Chelsea, we'd have won a few more. But yeah, I mean, you know, the game against Aston Villa last week, it was a tricky game at times. We were 1-0 down early on, but we showed a lot of, I thought, character and resilience. And to come back and win that game in, again, difficult circumstances, you know, going behind is never easy. And on an away game, you know, our run of clean sheets ended, but we wasn't too worried about that in the end. And finally, we scored more than one goal in the game, which was nice. It kind of went in. Again, we got a bit lucky with the own goal, didn't we? Because, you know, we conceded an unlucky own goal, obviously, last night on the weekend. We got a lucky own goal to bring us level, a bit fortunate. But overall, I mean, Andreas, it was a good performance, wasn't it, overall at Aston Villa, I thought. Apart from maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes was a bit shaky. But once we got going, we started to play really good football, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a strange match because I thought we had a good start in the match. And so the first 5 minutes, I had a good feeling that we are in the match. And then out of nothing, Villa had their first attack and scored in the 6th minute. And yeah, this made everything difficult and strange. And I think as I felt the goals in the same, we are good in the match. But what happened? We are 1-0 down. But then I think more and more we got the control over the match back, and we made this lucky equalizer. But then the second goal before halftime was a very clever goal from you see the corner. There was a concentration of 7-8 players in the 6-yard box, and we saw this and made she fell 2-3 steps back. She was just waiting for the ball to come to her. This was very, very clever, and that shows how intelligent as a player. And so this was not a lucky goal. So this was just very, very much overthought, and she wanted it, and fantastic. And of course it helped us to get the lead before halftime. And I think in the second half we controlled the match. Of course, when you're only one goal up, it's always difficult, and you concede one goal, then it's level again. But I always had a good feeling in the second half. I thought, it seems as if we're bringing it home, or if we score one more goal, then it's home. And that was the case when we made the third goal, and the match was sealed. And good that we made a fourth one, and good to see Rafa back on the pitch. And the fortune for us was that Rachel Daly never was in the match. She played a great first half of the season, and she scored so many goals. But in this match, it was sometimes I ask myself, is Rachel Daly also playing? This happens, and this was a bit of luck for us that Villa had their best player out of the match. But all in all, it was a really good performance and a very good reaction. If you consider those 6 minutes, this was a very good reaction of the whole team. So I think we all were satisfied with the match and with the result on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, and we came from behind to beat West Ham recently as well. So we're showing this this character. Yes, it's all very well, when you go 1 or 2-0 up and you can enjoy the game and go on and score a few goals and stuff. It's good to be able to do that, but over a season, you have to be able to dig out results. We've had a couple of 1-0s recently. We had to dig in and get the result. We did that. Then we came from behind Aston Villa and got a good victory in the end. And I thought that was a really, really good, positive thing for me. And it was a good way to bring up that 200th game as well, wasn't it? With a victory, that's what we needed to do. It was nice that it all kind of aligned itself nice. And of course, to get 4 goals to take us to 500 as well was kind of poetic as well, wasn't it? Really, in that game. Of course, Matt, you were there. I want to say what a fantastic vlog you did for us. That was brilliant. I really did enjoy that. That was fantastic. So, and it was good. Obviously, another 4 goals away at Aston Villa. You're our lucky charm. You need to go to every single season.
It seems like it. Yeah. A lot of the pre-match videos was all done because the supporters club decided to get together and try and sort some sort of arrangement to come together and get people meeting. There's a lot of people that you don't know who usually go to those sorts of games, but when you get to meet them, they're quite friendly. Tim Stillman, who does cover them for Arse Blog, we had Samantha Miller as well, who was, I believe, doing the presenting on Sky for the game. She got involved as well, and then I think it's the photographer. That's one of the I don't know if she's an Arsenal photographer, but she comes along and does the Arsenal games as well. She was also there. But there's a lot of other people there. They're trying to get the atmosphere going. So they'll get the songs like Steph Catley going. And that was kind of what you saw on TV was I would imagine was what the atmosphere was in the pub before the game, and then headed all the way up to into our section for the Villa game. But it was important to go to Villa and go. It wasn't just going to be another test. It wasn't going to be another wedding where we're going to go, right, okay, let's see how many we can get. It will be a case of, can we stop the threats and can we carry on our form? Can we stop getting these 1-0 sorts of results, which everyone's trying to get until goal difference might be the difference. Like it could have been last season. The fact that we went down within the first 10 minutes, again, it's a bit disappointing, but again, I think we were again a bit slow to get going. As soon as we got past that 10-minute mark, we were fine. And as Andreas has rightly said about Rachel Daly, she was nowhere to be seen. That was because she was chasing the ball every 5 minutes instead of being right at where she's supposed to be up front. She was chasing the ball all the way back up her own heart, up the other end of the pitch because no one was doing her job. Kenza Darley didn't seem to be around or anything. Villa do have a good team, but you just kind of have to wonder whenever they do turn up, they are a great side. Look at how they did against Man City at the start of the season. It could have been one of those games where it could have been 4-3, but the fact that we managed to stick in and get those goals when we did and carry on our form was important. The very crucial goal was that first goal. I know it's gone down as an own goal, but I would actually give credit to Katie McKay because she grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and she ran with it and she went, I'm going to create this chance, and it just bounces it on. From where I was sitting, you could see it was clearly given. I knew it was given. The fans were like,
it was a long way over the line,
but the referee was waiting for the watch to go. The watch eventually went, and that was the turning point. As soon as we got that one goal, we knew something special was going to happen. And at the moment, if Steph Catley ever wanted a job, make her a postwoman because she always delivers.
He does.
It was again. She was putting.
Well, she'd be on strike at the minute if she worked for the post office, wouldn't she?
To put her left side of the front line.
Cross after cross, and she was delivering time and time again. And she was, to be honest, my player of the match. I know she was huge for the game against Lyon as well, but this game she was so important because she was able to put those crosses in. They were being put away. Viv with that strike, just you knew as soon as it came out to Viv, this is going in. And then second half, you get Frida Katie eventually scoring her usual goal at Villa Park.
Yeah.
Slightly different goal this time to last season.
You take it, you take them.
Yeah.
And then to wrap it up, Jordan Nobbs scoring a tap in. It's kind of nice little story in its own way that she scores because she's been there from the start. I think the only problem was on what could have been a night of ending on 0-0-0. We're still on 99 clean sheets. But the fact is, we've got 3 points. We got a bigger goal difference now.
Yeah.
We got back to ourselves after that horrible loss a couple of weeks ago. And that's good to see. It's just going to be how the players react now to this 1-0 loss. I know it's only Zurich, but we've got to take everything in our stride while we have the time. Yeah. And then they go into the break, and then before that long, we're back against Chelsea. So we've got to make sure that we're 100% focused. And I'm hoping that Santa leaves some players under the Christmas tree come late Christmas.
Yes, I think we need a delivery from Santa, don't we, in January? Definitely, quite a big delivery. I think mainly at this moment in time with the problems that we've got injury-wise, certainly. We've got Magnificent Jaffa in the chat. How you doing? He says, some people say we played well as we talked last night, but overall we were poor in all departments. Can't cope with set pieces. Well, we do struggle with set pieces. That's true. Our midfield lack creativity, and the forward line, we don't score enough goals. I mean, yeah, you could say all that about last night, and it's difficult to necessarily disagree with too much. I thought we played pretty well in the circumstances overall. We didn't create enough chances, but we didn't need to win the game, did we? That was the point. So in a game that we have to win, which we have to win against Zurich next week because that'll win us the group, you'll see a completely different Arsenal setup. You'll see us play a different way. And I'm sure you won't be saying next Thursday night or next Friday on the show, you won't be saying that we didn't score enough goals, because I'm sure we'll go over to Zurich and we will score some goals. And we scored 4 at Aston Villa, so, this team can score goals. So, it was just last night. It was very different circumstances, and I think we need to bear that in mind. Yes, it wasn't the greatest performance ever. It wasn't the greatest game ever. We're not going to try and say it wasn't, but I think in the circumstances, we have to accept that. Jafar says, are there any updates on Viv? No, at the moment there isn't. We haven't heard anything else yet. I think it'll be a few days yet, because she'll need to be assessed, and they'll have to do scans and all this kind of stuff. And maybe by the end of the weekend we might hear some more news, but I'm not expecting it to be particularly good news, if we're honest. So we just have to get ready for that, unfortunately. And see, Terry says there, Matt is Villa's voodoo doll. He seems to be. We'll score 4 again. That'd be nice, won't it? We'll have to put money on it next season. Though, if Matt goes to Villa Park, Arsenal score 4 goals. We might not play him at Villa Park. He might be back at Walsall's ground next year. Who knows? Herman says that overall, with the Viv injury, Arsenal has to play well. We have to accept that. That was difficult for everybody last night. We did play well. And Terry makes a good point there. He says, hats off to Lotta Wilbermoy, been a stand. She's a little bit more than a stand-in, but she's certainly played well. You're right, and she was brilliant. And she played well last night, I thought, as well. Actually, she had a really good game. So, and she played well in the last few games that she's been in. You have to wonder how much longer she's going to keep getting a regular start in the team now that Happer and Leah Williamson are both back fit again. You imagine they'll probably both start against Chelsea. You would assume, but we'll see. I mean, she's certainly done nothing wrong. She hasn't let us down, as you said. So we'll see what happens on that side of things. I mean, Amar, what did you make of the Aston Villa performance? Because overall, we got the job done. We looked good. We played some good football, scored some decent. There wasn't great goals in terms of the finishes necessarily. They were well, wasn't they? Especially them 2 in the second half.
Yeah, I always had the belief in the goals that they wouldn't let the early setback affect them. Yeah, they started off really well. We were a bit slow to get out of the box. But forgive Frida, she was making any mistakes. It was a bit of a disappointing ball loss, and losing on the ball in the build-up was. I feel Mane's got to do a bit better with their positioning. Should not be guarding that far post to allow that strike to go through. But other than that, we responded really well. And once we scored that equaliser, it was a bit fortunate. But you could see they were making the hay down the right-hand side all game long. And once they got that goal, and then Viv scored that delicate finish through the whole defence, there was only going to be one winner. And ultimately we dominated the game. And it was nice to see score a few more goals. And the build-up play to the 3rd goal was really nice, and they tap it in the 4th as well. Good to see arguably one of our greatest players ever score in history, making 500th goal. So that was really good. Ended the run of clean sheets. Maybe I shouldn't have said it last week, and I cursed it a little bit. But I thought Yeah, Steph was pretty good, but I thought overall, I think Leah Valti for me was man of the match. She was again just proves to shows her work to this side. So good, so calm, so composed. Always so reliable, no matter what the situation. And she was first in every statistical category. And it was even pointed out in the show later in the evening on Sunday that, she was pointed out in the show on Sunday night that what her worth is to this team. And yeah, she's just a fantastic player to have at your disposal. And if there's one player that you can always rely on, it's her. So yeah, no, overall good performance, and yeah, good something to take into the break.
It was, yeah, and you're right. Leah Volter was brilliant in that game. Actually, she was absolutely dominated that midfield. She was winning the ball, her passing was brilliant, and it was a great all-round midfield performance from her, I thought, which was great to see. And yeah, it helped us to get on top. In a way, I wasn't too at the time. You're 1-0 down. You're disappointed to concede a goal, but actually, I was kind of glad we conceded a goal because it meant we had to score more than one. Because we've been winning 1-0 and we couldn't win 1-0, so we had to score at least 2 goals to win the game. So I kind of felt that we would. So it maybe inspired us to have to score more goals, which was nice. So maybe did us a little bit of a favour in the end. Rather than winning 1-0, we won 4-1, which was nice. So that was good as well. Herman says, is there any news from Kim Little? Well, she was on the bench last night, so it looks as though she's fit.
Come on.
Fit-ish. She's not obviously fit enough to start games yet, but the good news is now, I mean, she may well get some minutes in Zurich next week, and then she'll have a couple of weeks rest, a little bit of training, and she hopefully can come back in the side against Chelsea. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? To come back in the team then. But yeah, she's on the way back, so that's going to be good. Look forward to seeing her again, obviously, playing very, very soon. Terry says, I thought I got the score right, other than Super Jen didn't get the full. Well, yeah, she didn't, unfortunately, but anyway, I'm sure she'll get another goal at some point. Terry says, let's make the 100 against Chelsea, the 100 clean sheets. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Very nice.
Chelsea, that would be really important as well in that game. Obviously, that'd be nice. Yeah, let's get the 100 against Chelsea. That would do. Jeffar says there, need to ask Jonas why Iwabochi isn't getting enough minutes. Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of figured it out. It's probably she doesn't suit his system. Maybe he said, I remember when we signed her last season, she was one of our best players. Suddenly, she doesn't get enough game time. Yeah, she's had a great start, didn't she? Scored on her debut, scored some great goals early last season, and she hasn't quite gone on from there, has she? But yeah, I mean, Jonas has been asked that before, and he's basically said, she's fit, she's available, and he picks the team for the game that he thinks is the best team for the game. Yeah. He gives those sort of answers. He's not going to turn around and, if there is a reason, which there must be a reason, clearly, he's not going to necessarily come out and say it in public, is he? Would we really want him to? If she's not the right player for him, then she'll have to move on, and that's unfortunately the way it is, But we can't really question Jonas too much. What he's done in the short time he's been at the club, his decisions in the transfer market have been good. The players he's brought in have been good. We don't lose very often, do we? We only lost one league game last season, one league game this season so far. He's doing a great job, isn't he? He just needs to get some silverware. But yeah, obviously there's an issue there somewhere with Manu Iwabochi. We don't know what it is exactly, but yeah. I'm sure it's going to result in her leaving the club very soon, either in January or at the end of the season. It's not worth her sticking around to some extent, week after week, is it? Herman says there, Kim is the right because she's indeed a really fantastic news to get her back in the team again. Hopefully, on Wednesday she might play. Talking of which, actually, it's going to be our last game before the kind of Christmas the Champions League away in Switzerland. And it will be our last match of 2022, which has been a decent year. But what we'll do is we'll look more at the year as a whole next week on the final show of the year. But I do want to have a look at, obviously, ahead to this game on Wednesday against Zurich. A win wins us the group. Brilliant. And looking at the Zurich results, looking at how they play, we should be able to go there and win, regardless of anything else. Looking at it on paper, we should. I know football doesn't always work like that, but Juventus beat them 5-0 last night, and they've lost every game. And yes, they caused us one or two little problems at the Emirates. We had a weaker team, or we rotated some players, shall we say, on that particular game. But we ended up winning fairly comfortably. I can't see too much different on Wednesday. Can you, Andreas? Do you think it's going to be we're going to get that job that we need to do? We're going to maybe win that fairly comfortably, you think?
we should win there because we are the better team. But don't underestimate any opponent in
No,
football because every
absolutely.
match starts with a 0-0, and yeah, you must first score a goal. And we had problems in last matches, except the Villa game, to score. We had many chances, but only one goal, uh, and then the problem of defending set pieces is always the danger that we might concede one. So um, I wouldn't go into the match and say, "Oh, we will win and it will be an easy match." It's an away match. We are playing in Zurich, and there's still the pressure. We want to win the group, but to win the group, we have to win this match. So it's not an easy situation. Fortunately, there is a free weekend. I'm really glad that they don't have to play on the weekend
Yeah.
some kind of WSL match. So all concentration, getting their minds free from the shock of yesterday. I think there will be about which situation it will be clearer what happened, and then every concentration will be on this match. Maybe Kim can be back in the team, maybe in the second half. There are more possibilities to rotate, and if everything goes normal, we should win there. And I really hope we win this match and win the group. Then we could avoid Barcelona and Chelsea, and I'm sure we would draw Chelsea in quarterfinals if we finish second in the group. This would be terrible. Not that we don't have a chance against them, but if you play in Europe, you want to play against other teams, against European teams. Let's win the group and avoid Barcelona and Chelsea and Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
So everything for the quarterfinals would be possible. It's in March, so it will be a totally new situation in March for every team, for us too. Hopefully, with no more injuries, only the two.
Yeah.
Who will be out for the rest of the season. But yeah, one step after the other, concentration on Zurich, and hopefully win there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to win the game. I mean, we could have won the group last night if we'd got a better result, but I think we're all fairly confident that we should go away to Zurich and be able to win. As you rightly said, we're a better team than them. We've got better players than them, even with the injuries that we've got. So, yeah, I mean, I think we'd all be quite surprised. What's your score prediction then, Andreas, for that game?
I think we won the first match in the Emirates 3-1 against Zurich. And I think it will be the same because I don't trust our defense. We conceded the goal in Zurich too by set piece, but normally we should be able to score 2 or 3 goals. And so I say 3-1 for us. Yeah, I'm optimistic.
Oh, well, 3-1 would be great. It does the job. I mean, I don't really care if we, as I said enough times, if we won 1-0 or we win 10-0, I don't care. We win, that's the main thing. And, I'll take a 3-1 all day long. Brilliant. And a clean sheet would be nice. Obviously, it would. But, if we score enough goals, it doesn't matter, does it? If we concede a goal more than the other team, that's what it's about for me. Just win the game. And we should, I agree, we should win. I don't think there's too much doubt about that. Terry is his usual confident self. He says 5-1. I feel good present for Christmas from Laguna. Goes, let's hope so. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? 5-1 would be nice. That's what we did against, was it Koga last season, didn't it? We won 5-1. So who says we can't?
Yes, we did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Matt, what are you thinking about them for this game against Zurich? The last game, it'd be nice to go out in style, won't it? Finish the group in style, finish the year in style, go out with 5 goals, like Terry says.
It would, yes. I'm thinking that there's going to be a question mark over everything because we still got to get the 3 points. We still got to get the 3 points to win the group.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I would see us maybe starting a stronger team and then pulling people off. It's going to be a question mark of who's going to be playing on that right-hand side. Now, because you've got Lena is back, but she's not fully match fit yet, so maybe it's a case of her coming off the bench again. Leonis has mentioned about, because we've mentioned about Kim before, she is ready to take part, but I don't think she's fully back yet. So I wouldn't risk her 100% of even letting her come and train. She can come and watch. Don't let her come over and train if she's not 100%, because there's no point in another player getting injured. At the moment, it seems like every 5 minutes we're getting one player back and another one's taking their place.
Yeah, it seems to be like that. Yeah.
So realistically, I would imagine we might see the back four stay the same. Perhaps Noel comes in for Laura just to give her a bit of a break. On that left, I would see Steph stay as he is. I don't know about how do you risk Rafa and Leah playing together, or do you keep moving my?
I mean, we
I'll
haven't
probably
we haven't got another game for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, have we? So why not play it? I would play Leah and Rafa, get them a game together again before the break. I would personally.
I would probably say maybe if Leah is to push into that midfield spot, then like she did last game,
Excuse me.
but
Thank you.
maybe it might be a switch. Maybe we might see Rafa and Lottie, and then be in that midfield three. You've got Frida now for definite, and Leah. To be honest, Leah needs a rest, so
Yeah.
there's no one really else that can take part if Kim's not available. So it might be a case of maybe Kate might see Casey or Leah in that midfield. So it'd be Katie, Leah, and Frida, or Leah and Leah and Frida. So then you got Casey on one side, Caitlin on the other, and then Stina up top. But if I'm honest, Stina needs to start scoring the goals. She needs to stop with this hesitation. This is actually the Villa game. I know we talked about it previously. We didn't really touch on that. That was the first time I saw her have a header chance since I've seen.
Yeah.
And although it was a very soft header, I was saying that she needed, considering how tall she is, she should be considered an aerial threat. But she wants everything played to her feet.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her trying to go for the chip or anything like that. Just put it in the back of the net. You're all on confidence, and obviously that's caused a problem now. And I want to see Stina scoring some goals. If we don't see Stina in, then I would imagine that she's dropped because of mentally she's not 100%.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Caitlin comes in on top, and then Lena comes onto the left wing. But we've got to make sure that if it's 2-0 at half time, change it up then. Whoever,
absolutely.
make sure that these players get rested now, because it's ridiculous that the only ones that haven't been getting any injuries, and I don't want to. So I'm touching wood because I don't want to curse us. Steph, Manu, Laura, and Leah, but if Stina gets injured as well, don't want to see anything like that. So maybe we might see some more of Agiman play as well.
Yeah, Agiman. Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
Yeah, why not? Give her some minutes. Yeah. I would say why not? Exactly. No. I mean, we're in a tricky situation where we can't really afford to lose any more key players to injury, because we've lost enough already this season. But ultimately, we've got to win the game, and I think that it's a balance, isn't it, to get the balance right. I wouldn't make too many changes, actually. The fact that we've got 3 weeks after this game, so any little injuries and any little niggles, there's time to recover before we play Chelsea in the next game. So I would go fairly strong to start with. Like you said, get 2 or 3 goals up, and then rest a couple of players later on, and maybe bring Kim on for a few minutes, get Lena on again and stuff like that, maybe. But we'll see. I mean, it's as long as we win the game. What's your score prediction then, Matt? Are you going to be confident again? You're going to go bold?
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling like a 3. I would like to say 3-0, but at the moment we seem to just be making these silly mistakes again, and that's costing us points and things. So I think they are going to get the 1 goal, and it'll be, I'd imagine that it'll be similar scenes that we saw at the Emirates when they did score. They'll all pile on to each other, and we won't have added minutes for that because the referee's already decided there's going to be 3 minutes added on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to decide that. So you're going 3-1 then, are you?
yeah, I'll go 3-1.
Going 3-1, the same as Andreas. Yeah, I mean that would be fine. We'll take that. Herman says Stina is a very good player. If she could finesse her scoring ability, she might become great. I mean, I love Stina. I think she's brilliant, and I love her running in behind. She works so hard for the team, and even though she isn't scoring at this moment in time, she's on a bit of a run where she's not getting goals. She's still working really hard for the team and doing a great job. And yeah, she does need to start scoring. She's a centre forward, and you need to get goals if you're a centre forward. And I think she will score again. It's just at this moment in time, she's just having one of them little moments in front of goal. I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for her against Zurich, a team that potentially we've got the opportunity to score goals against, create chances against. Get her the chance to get in there and get a couple of goals and boost her confidence before the break. And then hopefully when we play Chelsea, she'll be flying again, confidence back up. And that's what we need, really, a really confident Stina in that game, because she's got so. But yeah, I love Stina. I think she's brilliant, and we just need her to score more goals, and she'll know that. Everyone knows that, and let's hope that she can do that. Herman says the Arsenal ladies are family to me. Yeah, they are. Funnily enough, I mean, me and Paul had this conversation last night, obviously after Viv's injury, and obviously, over the years we've seen players get injured, the men's team, the women's team, and it's like you almost feel as though when it's one of the women players, you almost feel as though it's someone from your family that's got injured, because you feel like you know them, because you've met them after the game, you spoke to them, you've had pictures with them, all that kind of stuff, and you really feel like they're a part of your life almost, a lot more than with the men's players, because the men's players are so distant and you don't really get anywhere near them there, you don't feel close to them. But with the women's players, you do really feel a connection with them, don't you? I mean, we had a picture taken with Beth, but at the end of last season, and then suddenly she gets injured, and you really feel it, because it's like a family friend that's got injured, and that's what it felt like last night with Viv. You know what I mean? And it's true, isn't it? It is like a family, and it feels worse, doesn't it, when you see that happen to one of the women players, because of how much more closer you are to them. And I think that's a great thing. And I hope that doesn't change with all the money that's coming in and everything else. I hope that stays the same. And I hope in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, we've still got that connection with the players that we do now, because that makes women's football so special. But yeah, you're right, Herman. It is definitely a family. We all feel it. Mm-hmm. And last night, I think we felt a lot more emotion about Viv's injury, because it's one of our players that we feel like we know really well, because we've met them and all that kind of stuff. So you're right. It is a family, and that's why. Terry says, I'd like to see the back four the same and Leah in midfield again. See, I don't know. I mean, Leah can play midfield. She's a fantastic footballer, but it is more of a defensive midfield, isn't it? And I think going away to Zurich, we want to be going there to create chances and score goals. Not if we need it. Say when we play Chelsea, I'd have no problem with Leah in midfield and Leah Walsey in midfield, and have it more tight and deny the space for Chelsea. But against Zurich away, let's go there and try and score some goals. So I would want a more attacking midfield. Put Leah at the back with Rafa, and then put maybe Jordan in midfield or something like that. That's what I personally would do. But we'll see. Herman says there, who is Query?
Yeah, call that back.
Plays for Everton. Who met the other day. Met the other night. Yeah.
That photo was taken against in the game against Leicester earlier in the season, but the goal that she scored, that was fantastic.
It was a great
against Tottenham.
Yeah.
It was so brilliant. It was just it was almost a replica of Viv's one, where she's just chested it down and just followed it.
It was a great goal. It was a great goal.
I didn't know
be a great player.
Beth Mead also scored her first goal for Arsenal against Tottenham. So it might be a good luck charm to score your first goal against Tottenham.
Yeah, that was a 10-0 FA Cup win a few years back, if I remember.
Yeah, that's right. It was in the FA Cup. Yeah, but I mean, she's on loan. She's our player. She's on loan at Everton for the season to get some experience. And that's who she is. So yeah, we're looking forward to her playing in the future, because I think she's going to be a great player. She looks like she's got a lot of ability. So let's hope she will be. Terry says there, Stina hat-trick, Fordy, and
Stop saying sorry. Stop saying sorry.
And Rafa. Well, no, that'd be nice. Stina hat-trick could be nice, wouldn't it? She hasn't got a hat-trick for Arsenal yet. It'd be nice for her to get one before Christmas. Herman says, I mean by that, Stina has the talent to become a great goal scorer like me. But no, you're right. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, this season she's got 5 goals, the same as Beth. Yes, I know Beth's not played the last few games, and I'm sure her goal output's been great since she's been at the club. So yeah, she's a good goal scorer already. But yeah, we'd like to see her score more, and I'm sure she will. But we'll see what happens there. Amar, then obviously Zurich.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What's your score prediction? How do you think it's going to go?
Well, don't be fooled because I'm going off here, so I can't imagine the side of Matt going forward. But anyway, no, I was just being silly. Yeah, no, because you said with Matt going forward, I would just put all about the hair reference. You won't see me going forward, but anyway. No, just being silly. But no, I think that I would like to see a few changes made, but not too many. I know it's the last game of the year. Maybe possibly put Jen in centre back, or even though loads of guys have been joking around on the show, even put a centre forward. So she can score. No. I think maybe put in centre defence. Maybe give Noel at right back and Kaylin in goal. But apart from that, I would go with their strongest available 11. And so yeah, maybe I don't know. I like to see. I know Jordan, his amendments have to be managed, but I'd like to see her get some game time as well. Kim obviously is not going to be back until after New Year. Her minutes have to be managed too. But yeah, I'd go when you make 3 or 4 changes, or maybe once a game is safe and like Matt was saying, 2 at half time or whatever. Yeah, I mean, defense yesterday, whilst it hasn't been the best of late, Zurich, I know we've only goal they scored again in the group stage so far, against us, but we managed to finish them off in the end. So yeah, I know. I still, whilst maybe our defense hasn't been up to scratch of late, I think we could go there, win comfortably, hopefully control the game, and yeah, I'd like to see maybe 1 or 2 changes being made, but I'd go 3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 Arsenal, that'd be great. I mean, I agree that we have looked a little bit shaky defensively at times, but I think a lot of that's to do with the fact we haven't had a settled defence, have we? I mean, Steph was playing centre back until recently. We've had Leah and Rafa both been out, and we haven't really had a settled back 4. And I think that you can see maybe that's why we've looked a little bit shaky at times. When the sort of first choice back 4 have played, which has been very rare this season, we didn't concede a goal, did we? When they were playing, so. I think when we've got them back and they're playing regular, I think we'll look a lot more solid again. At the moment, we've just got to maybe get through and do the best that we can. But yeah, I mean, we should have enough to win that game. Herman says Amar needs fisherman's.
Yeah, I should get a fisherman's friend. You're right.
he's a bit worried about you. He's a bit worried about you.
Yeah, no, I've told you that. It's fine. I took Benelin. Benelin helps.
Benelin's all right. Yeah, you need some Benelin. But yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. But yeah, we should obviously beat Zurich. I mean, I think that we should win quite comfortably. Really, I kind of quite like Terry's 5-1. Actually, I kind of like that, and I might go with 5-1 like Terry. Actually, I'm going to go 5-0. I'll go 5-0. That's what I'm going to go for. I think a clean sheet. I'm going to go a clean sheet. I think we will. I think we'll win 5-0, and I think Stina will get at least 1, maybe 2, and that'll be we'll get the win, which is what we need. Terry says. Amar needs a haircut.
No, I don't.
He's not been well, Terry. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I've got the flu.
Looking rough, but goes off. Dapper to England goes. Well, he's not been well this week, Terry. He's
since yesterday.
We're lucky just to have him here at all. So we're lucky to have him at all.
Exactly.
And talking of Amar, actually, it is time. It is that time of the week. It is the time of the week we look forward to the most. It is time for this. Now I've got me pad and me pen ready because I'm sure I'm going to need a pad and a pen because we normally do for these questions, which are getting better and better every week. Last week's one was brilliant. That was the one about birthdays, wasn't it? Which was good.
2 days apart with Laura and Lotte. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was great. That was last week. So there's much anticipation now every week. Everyone looks forward to this. It's the highlight of everyone's week. And we need to get to Amar's big question of the week.
Yeah, okay. So Leah Williamson made her 200th appearance for Arsenal in the recent 1-0 win over Everton.
Yes.
In which season did she make her very first appearance for the club as a substitute? Who were the opposition, and what competition was it in?
Yes. Okay.
This is going to annoy me because I've got the shout.
This question of Amanda Williamson's Twitter. Who were the opposition? What did I say? Who were the opposition? What competition was it in? And yeah, that was it, I think.
And what season was it?
What season? Yeah, that's it. What season? That's right. What season?
I see. That's tough actually, because what season was it?
No competition now.
I've got a feeling. I'm going to guess the season, right?
Okay.
I think it was 2014, 2015.
Right. And who were the opposition? And
I think who was the opposition? He came on as a sub.
Oh, I think I remembered it.
Was it Manchester City?
no, it was not Manchester City, and it was not 14-15. So you're wrong on both counts.
Oh, it wasn't.
No.
Okay. Must have been
Ah,
15,
Not too far away, though. To be fair, that was a decent first shot at the answer.
So it must have. I've got 20. I did have 14 to 15, but I think her breakout was actually 15 to 16 season.
Right, no, yeah.
I've guessed Gillingham, which I think is completely wrong in the FA Cup.
No, that's wrong as well, I'm afraid.
It's not 15-16 over then.
Not 15-16.
I've got the shirt. I've got the shirt, but I just don't know what season it was. Because it's the V-neck one, wasn't it? One of the Puma V-necks.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Puma kit, yeah. I was convinced it was 20. I thought it was actually in the year 2015. That's why I thought maybe the second half of 2014, 2015. But it's not even 15-16. So maybe it has to be 16.
As well recently. This is going to annoy me.
Can't be 16.
Can't be 16, 17. No. But earlier.
Hold on, 200 appearances.
No, it couldn't be earlier than 2014. It can't be 2013, 2014, can it? Because she'd have been about 12.
You have to remember she was born in 1997, so yeah. So. Mm-hmm.
I thought it could have been. She'd have been 17 in 2014. It could have been 2013, 2014.
Yeah, but remember, Aguiman made her debut at 16.
Yeah, it could have been 2013, 2014 then, couldn't it? Could have been. She'd have been 17 maybe.
Oh,
so
God, are we going the wrong way?
that would be beyond the realms of possibility then, would it? Because obviously to make 200 appearances, it takes a long time to make 200 appearances, doesn't it? So, you know, that would maybe make sense actually. I was sure it was around 2014, so I reckon it must be 2013, 2014 then.
Right. And who are the opposition? And
I'm sure it was the Continental Cup. Did you come on as a substitute?
It wasn't the Continental Cup, I'm afraid.
It wasn't.
Nope.
No, if Amar asks such question, there's something strange behind it. So maybe she came in as a sub in Champions League.
You're getting there.
But against whom?
Yeah. So it was 2013-14. It was a Champions League, and who were the opposition?
Who did we play that season in the Champions League? Everything. 13-14. Jesus Christ, that's a long time ago.
A lot of the teams that we used to play used to end up being 13-14, so we might as well rattle them off now. Lyon? No.
Not Lyon, no.
Barcelona?
Sorry?
Barcelona?
Or Barcelona?
Yeah.
No,
I think
not Barcelona.
I think it'll be a more unusual team. She would have probably come on as a sub in one of the group games, one of the games against a team that we would probably have been expected to have won anyway. We'd maybe winning already. I think. I seem to remember her coming on late in the game for a debut.
this time there was no group stage. There was.
I know it wasn't group stage. No, it would have been. It was but it would have been one of the earlier rounds, wouldn't it? In one of the.
Nope.
I think so.
No, this was before. This was when there was.
I remember her coming on in her debut. She played in midfield.
Yeah, 2013-14 season Champions League. What stage? What stage is the opposition? What stage is the opposition?
I'm pretty sure that she made her debut.
Yeah, I had that. I might as well add that.
Boreham Woods.
Yeah, I thought it was at Boreham Woods. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was at Boreham Woods. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or shall we say Meadow Park?
Very good.
It was a Scandinavian team, maybe Umea from Sweden.
No, it was not
I
a
don't know.
Scandinavian team. It was not a Scandinavian team.
We've got one of 4 countries to pick, so we might as well just go through the list now.
Bayern Munich. No, it was not Bayern.
I think
No.
it would have.
I think Andreas would have got it.
It's
if it was
obviously what you
Bayern.
think. It's not Bayern. It's not Bayern. It's not Barcelona. It's not Lyon. If you get this, I'll be very impressed.
He was around by then, so I wouldn't imagine that it's them.
Oh, I can remember her coming on as well, you know, and I'm sure she played in midfield. In fact, did she not score as well? Did she not come on and score on her debut?
Or did she assist someone?
Oh, yeah, I think it might have been an assist. Yeah, actually, I think it was an assist.
Wasn't it a classic, one of our classic trademark long balls over the top? And
I think it was. Yeah, she obviously. Yeah, I can picture it in the head as well. I can't remember who it was against. Ah, this is annoying.
Is this team still active?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Very much so.
Okay.
Very, very much so.
Very much.
Or still very
Are
much.
they founded by themselves, or is it a men's team? They also have a men's team.
Sorry.
Do they have a men's team as well, or is it just a women's team? Have they got a men's team as well?
I leave that for you to work out.
That's a 9.
Terry says you can't be that, Kenny. He says 2014 Birmingham City.
Oh, we played them that season.
The name on the head it was Birmingham.
Is that what it is? Is it Birmingham City?
Birmingham.
It was Birmingham.
In Champions League.
What stage?
It was a quarter final.
Yep, it was a quarter final second leg against Birmingham, and we lost the tie 3-0.
Oh my God, Birmingham.
Yeah.
I never
And you had the likes of
Birmingham.
Terry.
Well
You had
done,
the likes
Terry.
of, yeah, that's impressive. 1-0 to Terry. Yeah.
You didn't search it, did you, Terry?
Shall I tell you who was in the starting lineup that day? For the team, because
Go on. Tell us the starting lineup. Yeah.
She was on the bench. So the goalkeeper was. Let me just wait. So it was courtesy of my mum's Twitter. Yeah, which is quite unique sometimes. So yeah, just waiting for that. It was in the quarterfinals, and we lost the first leg away at St Andrews and 1-0, and the second leg was played at the Hive in Edgware, which is not too far from me actually. And lost 3-0. Yeah, so this was the lineup. Seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? So the goalkeeper was Emma Byrne.
Yeah.
The back four was Yukari Kingo, I've never heard of. But yeah, Yukari Kingo, Kelly Smith, Rachel Yankee, Danielle Carter, Emma Mitchell, Caroline Weir, Alex Scott, Casey Stoney, Shinobu Ono, and Jade Bailey.
How did we lose to Birmingham with that team? Seriously. How did we lose 3-0 to Birmingham with that team? That's ridiculous.
Was this the season that Vic Akers stepped down as well?
Probably.
That was before. He stepped down before that, didn't he?
Oh, I think it might be when we had, was it Laura Harvey or was it Shelley Kerr?
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. If we had one of those sort of,
I think it was Laura Harvey. Yeah,
she was a substitute. She was a substitute on the bench. On the bench, you had Carla Humphrey, Siobhan Chamberlain, Anouk Hugendijk, Frida Aisi, and Bianca Bragg.
Wow, what a team!
And Birmingham as well. Just to name throughout some of the names they had as well. To be fair, they have Rebecca Spencer, who's still in goal for West Ham, Jess Carter, Remy Allen, just to name a few, Terrace Harrop, Karen Carney, Joe Potter, and Melissa Lawley, amongst others as well. So yeah, there you go.
Maybe that might explain why we lost to them then, because they had quite a good team as well. I mean, they used to be decent, Birmingham, didn't they? I remember they used to have a good team at one time.
Yep.
Wow.
So Birmingham, it was in 2014, and it was in the quarterfinals. Yeah. Well done, Terry.
No, well done, Terry. He says it's okay. I won't take it personal. Lee came on for Yankee. Yeah, I she did. Yeah, I just couldn't remember the game. I'm sure you Googled it, but we'll let you off anyway. it was a good shout. I'd never have got Birmingham City. That was not what would have been on my fault list at all. I mean, I wasn't far off the year. I thought it was around about 2015. I knew it was around about then, but yeah. I've never have got Birmingham. I've never have fought Birmingham. I do remember her coming on her debut. I'm sure. Oh, she couldn't have got an assist if we lost 3-0. Maybe it was her first start. She got an assist on, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it might have been her first start as opposed to.
So it wasn't even a 17 or 16 when she made her Arsenal debut. 16.
Yeah, was she 16? Was she? Well, there you go. And there she is, 200 games later. Look at her now. What a magnificent player she's become, and England captain, lifting the Euros. Oh, it's brilliant. So, wow, what a great career she's had. I mean, what a great ambassador she's been for Arsenal, actually, hasn't she? You know, coming through the youth system, and going on to play 200 games for the club, play for England, captain England in a major tournament, lift a trophy for England. Just what an amazing career. And the fact that she's come through from she's one of our own, if you like. It's just brilliant, isn't it? To see how she's developed over the years and go on to the player that she is now, and she's still got a lot more to give, I'm sure. And I mean, I saw an interview with her the other week when she made that 200 for Peel. She was saying that if it wasn't for her injury, she'd have made a lot more as well, because she's had quite a lot of spells out injured, hasn't she, as well over the years, which is unfortunate.
Funny enough, I was there for 100th appearance when we lost 2-1 to Chelsea at Meadow Park in January 2019, and we still went on to win the title. So maybe that's a good omen.
I remember that game as well. Yeah. Wow. Was that 100th game? Was it?
That was a 100th game. Yeah.
Wow.
So 5 years played 100 appearances, and then the last 100 about 3 years. So it's supposed to show the injuries have played their part. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Injuries have played a part. Yeah, we knew that anyway. I mean, it's funny that we lost our first game, we lost our 100th game, but we did win our 200th game. So there you go. So
yeah.
Getting better. We lost 3-0, lost 2-1, and we won 1-0. So maybe a 300th game we might win a bit more comfortably.
That was the second leg of the Champions League quarterfinal. Yeah.
So that was another good question from Amar. He certainly knows how to get us thinking, doesn't he? Which is good. Herman says Amar made you sweat. No, he did.
Pulling me over, honestly.
And I'll tell you, look, put a first guess in 2016. You see, then he got Google out, and then he got it right. You see, so we know what you're up to. So don't be worried about that. We know what you're up to. But yeah, so that's about Herman didn't have a clue. He said he doesn't know any of that. Well, this is fair enough, But this is what we're here for, to give you some knowledge. So now you know that, you see, so you can go away and tell all your friends and do a quiz to your friends about Leah Williamson's first game. And now. So it's worth watching just for that, isn't it? Herman says too far away. No, it's not. History is important. It's important to know history, because that's, if you know where you've come from, then you can see where you're going. You see, that's how it works. But Herman says, is Amar an investigator at Scotland Yard? Maybe he should be, because he's got all the
Yard. I don't want to be a copper.
Well, Scotland Yard will be right.
What's that, Andreas?
I said you are the pub quiz king.
Yeah.
He is the pub quiz king.
Being my first full year of online quiz league has certainly helped, so that's good.
Actually,
I tell you as well, I know she talked about online quiz league. Viv and Alexia came up as a pair on one of the games, and I knew the answers actually as well. Nobody else knew, and one of the other guys actually, I don't know whether he meant to or not. He says, I'd rather watch paint dry. So there you go. So that's what some people think.
Wow.
Just a bit of an update. Roma have qualified for the knockout stages. 5-0 win.
They scored 4 goals in the last 10 minutes.
Did they? So Roma were through, are they? What was Chelsea scoring in the end? 2-0?
4-0.
Oh, Chelsea won 4-0, did they?
PSG look like they're going to join them. They were leading Real Madrid 1-0 as well. So.
Right. So Real Madrid will be out then.
No, if we put our group, it'll be either PSG, Roma, or Bayern. It looks like, doesn't it?
It's looking that way. I quite fancy PSG myself, but we'll worry about that later on. Let's see if we won the group.
Roma done well. Remember, this is their first game. Well, yeah, Roma have done very well as well.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they've done well. Yeah,
would be the best draw we can get, Roma.
The thing is, as well, is that
the best draw if we.
I quite fancy PSG because Paris would be nice to go to in the spring.
Yeah. We love it if the draw would say Chelsea versus Lyon. I don't know.
Yes.
Arsenal
I would like Chelsea versus Lyon. I would like
Roma.
Chelsea versus Lyon.
Chelsea versus Barcelona, that would be the best draw for them, because Barcelona would just batter them.
Barcelona are going to win their group because they've got much better goal difference. But
yeah, actually, I want PSG now. I've decided I want PSG in the next round. Paris.
Well, I know Andreas doesn't want in the quarterfinals, and that's Wolfsburg.
Yeah, well, none of us really want. I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't mind Wolfsburg to get revenge on last year because I think we can give them a better
If we
game
win our
this year.
group, we'll avoid them. Yeah, so we'll avoid them if we win our group. So yeah, that's right.
I would quite like to play them at some stage. So
Goals
maybe
in
maybe
6
Paris
minutes.
first. Maybe Paris first, and then Wolfsburg in the semi-final, and then play Lyon again in a final and smash them 5-1 again. That'd be nice.
Well, Chelsea against Bayern. I wouldn't mind Bayern beating Chelsea. Let's see.
Well, yeah, anyone beating Chelsea is
against
fine by me.
Bayern.
Anybody can beat Chelsea. I mean, talking about Chelsea, actually, what did you make of their game, obviously, against Reading when they were 3-0 up? And then they conceded them 2 goals in about 10 seconds. I mean, what was going on there? I actually thought for a minute Reading might have got a draw. That was amazing, wasn't it?
It was only 5 minutes in which they lost.
Completely offside.
They conceded 2 goals in 5 minutes, and after that they controlled the game again. It was only the conditions which gets slippery by lots of snow. That was the only danger that Reading could score a 3rd goal. But I think they lacked concentration because they were 3-0 up, and then suddenly it was 5 minutes later it was 3-2. But that wasn't.
But they did that against Liverpool as well, didn't they? In the first game, they conceded 2 quick goals, didn't they, and lost that game. So.
It wasn't 2 goals; it was 2 penalties, and that was hilarious to watch.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That's been one of my favourite games this season, actually. Watching Chelsea lose.
And Chelsea's first goal was offside as well. So, but there you go.
It was. You're right. You see, that should have been a draw.
That was offside. I still stand by that.
Yeah, but anyway, they did win, but I did find that quite amusing when they did concede them 2 goals, and it was like
I was in the restaurant and I thought, what the hell's going on here? I thought, come on, Reading.
I know, yeah. I mean, I've kind of lost interest in the game because it was 3-0 to Chelsea. Thinking, this game's nothing's going to happen now. It's just going to be boring. And then suddenly Reading scored, and you're thinking, well, it's just a goal. And then they scored another one. I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. And I got interested again. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Andreas. They didn't really look like they were going to score another one, did they? After that, to be honest.
That game also proved that Manu, for me, is the best keeper in the league as well. As 2 howlers, Berger made back-to-back, one against Real Madrid and one against Reading.
Yeah.
So
that was a bad mistake by the goalie, wasn't it? Actually, to be fair, that was. We
could exploit that in January, but we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got music rehearsal this Sunday. However, I am watching the World Cup final. They are not. They're not pleased over that. I told them I have many other interests. Right, the World Cup final, it happens once every 4 years, so you need to be around to watch that, don't you? So you make the right decision there. It should be a good game, actually. Obviously, France against Argentina, it's going to be a good game, you would imagine. So we look forward to that on Sunday, obviously, and see how that goes. Yeah, I'll probably watch that as well. I'm sure it'll be good fun, but shame England didn't make it. But anyway, there you go. That's life, isn't it? That's the life of an England fan. We're used to it now. We've spent long enough failing in tournaments, so we know what to expect.
Beth will win sports personality as well, don't forget. Yeah.
Yes, she may well do. Let's wait and see. That'll be coming up soon, won't it? Next week, is it?
Yeah.
And Terry says that one of the Chelsea goals was miles offside. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the first one. Yeah, it was miles offside. Yeah. All their goals shouldn't count anyway, really. There should be special law brought in that Chelsea goals don't count. None of them.
We have to overcome the mental block. The key for me going to New Year, we've got the squad, we've got the players, it's the manager. I think we should just overcome that mental block against them. And I wouldn't say they're there for the taking, but we know that if we go in with the right approach and attitude, we can beat them. There's no question in my mind.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. I mean,
it's more mental than anything else.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we did beat them last season.
Yeah, we made 4 points against Chelsea last season. Okay, we lost on the FA Cup.
We did get hammered in 2 FA Cup games, though, didn't we? Against
the FA Cup semi-final was a bit of a joke, to be honest, because their goals came from nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Once they scored the second one, it was game over.
Yeah. I mean, but you're right, Amar. I think we can beat them, definitely. And maybe there is a little mental thing. Of course, there is. Chelsea are a great team, and I think that a lot of teams, when they play Chelsea, are beaten before they play them because they go in with that kind of worried attitude, don't they? I mean, I don't think we need to be worried about them. We've got, we know we can beat them. We beat them last season, and we can beat them. We know we can, but yeah, I mean, that'd be a good game now. Actually, I think it's come just after we've had a few weeks off as well, so we can rest and recover, get a few players back fit again in the team, and I think it's maybe coming at a good time for us. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to that one. Obviously, that's going to be a great game. But Yeah, that's a few weeks off yet. So what we're going to do next week, next Friday, we are going to have a look back on the year of 2022, because we'd have finished the year, all the games that have been played in the year. We'll look back at the year as a whole for the Arsenal women, the highs, of which there's been quite a few. The lows, there's been one or two lows as well, unfortunately. So we'll look at it all, and we'll maybe pick a few little awards of the year, like the player of the year and the goal of the year and stuff like that, match of the year, all that kind of stuff. So we'll do that next week. That'll be good. Obviously, there's no other games coming up, so we can just look back on the year and enjoy that. So we'll do that next week at our past, and that'll be a good show, that actually. So we'll look forward to that. Some great memories to look back on, actually, which will be good. I don't know whether Matt will be able to join us next week or not. I know, obviously, you're working now. It's going to be tricky for you.
It'll be a wait and see, but you never know at the moment. It's just starting up, so who knows?
Well, it's just before Christmas. Everyone should finish early on a Friday before Christmas, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
So, you need to finish early and get yourself on the show, but we'll see. Great to see you again. I know it's been a little bit of a emotional show at times, a lot of negative stuff that we had to kind of talk about, but have you enjoyed it again?
Yeah, this is part of the game. There are ups and downs, and now we have to deal with injuries, and we have to deal with this shock. But talking about it, I think, is important. You can't ignore such a situation, and I think we spoke about our feelings, and that this is important too. But above that, it was a great show again. We have interesting subjects with Villa, with the Champions League in general, and a good quiz question again.
Thanks.
Challenge. But I enjoyed being part of the show again. Thank you.
No, it's always great to see us. I look forward to next week as well, the big year-end show, which is always good fun. And we're going to wear Christmas hats apparently as well for this show. So I need to find one. I haven't actually got one, so I need to find one. So that'll be good. Obviously, Matt, hopefully you can get on next week, but we'll see. If you can, it'd be great to see you. Have you enjoyed the show this week?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to possibly over the next couple. Well, hopefully coming on a bit more at the moment, but it was sort of wait and see at the moment. I really enjoy coming on and talking to all you guys about Arsenal, especially over the last couple of weeks and months, and especially this year. We've had some ups and downs together, and we've all talked about it, and we've all had quite a lot of fun, to be honest, with jokes and quizzes, songs and chants and things like that. Acts every 5 minutes as well. So I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to carrying on with you. But at the moment, it might be only partially sending videos each week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to come on every now and again anyway, which would be good if you can. But hopefully we can, we'll keep you involved as much as we can, because we like you on the show. It's always good fun. So I say that I thought the vlog he did at Aston Villa was brilliant. Actually, that was great. It really gave a good flavour of the game and the atmosphere and stuff like that. And that was really enjoyable. We enjoyed that. That was great. So hopefully there'll be a few more of them coming next year as well, which we look forward to for a few of the games. And Amar, you've been feeling a bit under the weather this week.
Yeah.
Good to see, and it didn't stop you producing a great quiz question for us, did it? So,
I'd always make sure this is a weekly staple for me, and I enjoy it. So it's what I enjoy the most, and it's great to be a part of. And no matter whatever happens, unless something really personal happened, I wouldn't make it. But no, I'd always give tooth and nail to be here for the show, and it's really good. And hopefully we can finish on 2022 on a high. And next week should be good as well with my final quiz question of the year. So bring it on.
We look forward to that as well. So I mean, there's not much football coming up over the next couple of weeks for the next few weeks for the women. Just a game on Wednesday, of course, in the Champions League. But we have got that big show next week to look forward to, which is going to be good. And then, of course, it'll be Christmas, which is nice. And the Premier
League leaders back in action. Yeah,
so doesn't it? So there's lots to look forward to, which is good. Where are we? We've got a few comments there when the mouse decides to work. It's playing up in a minute. Where are we? Herman says, I think he meant Saka. Saka played well for England. Yeah, Saka did play very well for England, which he certainly did. Harry says, the refs do seem to fancy Chelsea. Yeah, they do, quite honestly, but
do a little bit.
That is just life. Herman says, considering that Arsenal won the first Lyon game by 5-1, because Lyon had many injuries, Arsenal did well. Yeah, no, you're right. Lyon had a few injuries in that game, yeah, but we did really well. We did okay last night. We've done the job we had to do, I suppose. Terry says another great show tonight. Matt, you have to be here. You're part of the furniture. It won't be the same. It won't be the same without Matt. Of course it won't. He said, "Good night, Richard, Andreas, Amar, and Matt. Stay safe and well. Come on, you girls, indeed." And Terry says, "That's it, Amar. Make Matt feel bad if he can't make it." No. It's going to be a case. I say, different circumstances and stuff. We understand, and Matt might not be on quite as often as he has been. Hopefully, he can still be on sometimes. And he's going to be sending us videos anyway to give his thoughts on what's going on. So he'll still be part of the show regardless, which is how we want it to be. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it'll be on next week for the big show. That'd be nice. It'd be a big one to miss, wouldn't it? The end of year show. Looking back on all the highlights and some low lights as well. But it's been good, and it's been a great show again. And as we always say, when we're back on our Friday slot, which we haven't been recently very often for one reason or another, but we are, and it means that now officially the weekend is here, and it's a little bit of a snowy weekend in England. What's the weather like in Germany, Andreas? Is it snowy over there?
It was snowing the last 3 days, but for the weekend it should be dry, and next week we get around 10 degrees again.
Yeah, that's what they're saying here. From Monday, I think it's going to start raining and it's going to get warmer. So that'll be nice. But yeah, we've had snow for over a week. Well, ice and frost and stuff for over a week now. It's been terrible. So I'll be quite glad when it is over. But we've got another. I think we've got it tomorrow, and then I think Sunday a little bit, and then Monday it's going to start to brighten up for us. So which would be nice because I'm sick of it now. It's too cold and I don't like it. But anyway, so we'll be back obviously on next Friday for the big show. Don't forget to watch along on Wednesday. The big game, of course, Zurich against Arsenal in the Champions League. Wins us the group. Brilliant stuff. And then we can look forward to a nice quarter-final draw in the spring. Hopefully Paris would be nice. I do quite fancy that, or Paris away in March. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Do a little holiday. We'll have a little holiday to Paris. I think that's what needs to happen. So we'll definitely do that if that happens. But yeah, that's what's coming. I mean, obviously we're winding down, having a little bit of a quieter time. He says, Matt, come and work for me. You won't ever work on a Friday. That's what you need to do. You're going to work for Terry. Although Terry will just take all the jobs on the Friday when we're on because he normally does. He doesn't be working. Herman says, nice to see you all. And then yourself, mate. He said for a fine podcast. Thank you. No, thanks to you to Herman as well for you watch us quite a lot. You're always in the chat. It's good to see you. Good that you're enjoying the show. Look forward to seeing you very soon. So we'll be back on. I mean, I may well throw together a show or two early part of next week if I can get the time. It's quite busy at the minute in the build out to Christmas, but I'll see what I can do. I will be here on Wednesday for the watch along with the Zurich match, so join us for that. So it's early kickoff, is it? That's a 4:45 kickoff one.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll be live about 5:30 for that one. So join us for that if you can. The final game of the year for the women, it'll be worth watching. I'm sure it'll be good. And I'll say next Friday we will be back for the look back at the review of 2022, all the gory details from the year. That's some good stuff as well. Some great games, some great moments. We've all met up in 2022 at games and stuff like that. It's been good. So we'll look back on all of that stuff, which will be great. Terry says, good night all in the chat and stay safe. And yourself, mate. Yeah, always, Terry. Always a pleasure. And I'm going along with your score prediction this week as well. So, I'm feeling your opportunity. It's rubbing off on me finally. It's taken 2 years, but we got there in the end. And I'm getting Terry's positivity. So, it's going to be a good game on Wednesday. We'll look forward to that. And then I'll say next week is going to be great. Thank you very much again to Andreas. As always, brilliant to have you with us. Matt as well. A little bit of a surprise guest. We didn't think Matt was happy that he showed up and surprised us all, which was great. Early Christmas present for everyone. Matt, his Christmas jumper as well, even better, which was great. And Amar, of course, hope you're feeling better soon, my friend.
Yeah,
last few days, but let's hope you're all better for Christmas. Get it out of the way now. That's what I say. Get your cold out of the way this week, and then next week the Christmas will be fine. That's what we need to do. We'll see you very, very soon. Take it easy, guys. Of course, as always, come on, you Gunners. Let's do it. And we will see you very, very soon. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of it. You can enjoy your weekend now because it's here. And there's no Arsenal to spoil it this weekend or make it better. So, relaxing weekend. Enjoy the World Cup final if you're going to watch it. I'm sure most people probably will. I'm sure it'll be a good game. And we'll see you very soon. Take it easy. Ta-ra, guys. Speak to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
down in there of Beth Mead. Beth Mead's in behind, plays it across. Caitlin Ford's going to score, and she has scored. This fast start has been rewarded for us.